ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
Welcome to Real Talk with Sukh and Preet. Today we have a special guest who we are so happy to have with us. We are delighted to welcome the special guest because of her holistic approach to healing, which prioritizes natural remedies and nutrition over conventional Western medicine. We are excited to welcome the special guest because her holistic approach, many diseases can be prevented simply by maintaining a healthy diet and lifestyle.
Updesh Kaur is a pharmacist with 25 years of experience, has personally faced the challenges of autoimmune disease rather than relying on conventional medicine. She embraced a holistic and Ayurvedic approach to healing. Her philosophy centers on the power of good food as medicine, using nutrition to support and restore health naturally.
Healing through nature, the power of healing foods over medicine. In a world where modern medicine is often the first line of defense against illnesses, many are rediscovering the profound healing power of nature. Food, when chosen wisely, has the ability to nourish, restore, and even prevent disease. Rather than relying on pharmaceuticals, a holistic approach to health focuses on using natural, nutrient dense food to support the body's innate ability to heal itself. For centuries, traditional healing systems like Ayurveda and naturopathy have emphasized the importance of diet in maintaining health. Whole, unprocessed foods, rich in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, play a crucial role in strengthening the immune system, reducing inflammation, and promoting overall well being. When the body receives the right balance of nutrients, it can function optimally, reducing the need for medication and synthetic interventions. One of the key benefits of healing through food is the ability to address the root cause of health issues rather than just alleviating symptoms. Many chronic conditions such as autoimmune diseases, diabetes, cardiovascular problems are linked to poor dietary choices. By making mindful adjustments, incorporating fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and herbs, one can often see significant improvements in health without the side effects associated with pharmaceutical treatments. Additionally, avoiding excessive reliance on medicine helps prevent dependency and reduces exposure to harmful chemicals and toxins. While medications may be necessary in some cases, they often provide temporary relief rather than long-term healing. Nature offers an abundance of healing resources in form of herbs, spices, whole foods, which work synergistically with body rather than against it. Ultimately, the true wellness comes from lifestyle that prioritizes balance, mindfulness, and nourishment. By embracing a diet rich in natural foods and minimizing the use of unnecessary medications, we can cultivate long-term health, vitality. Healing through nature is not just an alternative approach, it is a return to the wisdom that has sustained humanity for generations. Let's turn it over to Updesh Kaur. Updesh Kaur, how do you define health?
Yeah, so health is basically a state of complete physical, mental, and spiritual well being, and not merely the absence of disease. So we can eat all the right foods, but if we have a negative mindset and think we're sick, our bodies cannot heal itself. So our bodies do have the potential to heal itself from most health conditions if we eat the right foods, exercise, get adequate rest, hydrate, and have a positive mindset, which would be staying in Chardikala.
And
So Gurbani states, Nanak so prabsimriya tis dehi gopal. So health results from living in harmony with natural law, and we need to be mindful of what we feed the body and the mind also. So our state of mind affects our physical health, and our physical health affects our mind.
does it make a difference in our health on who prepares our food?
Yes, definitely. So jasa an taisa man. If we eat food made by someone with negative energy, or they contaminate our food with their jute, we are letting that negativity and potentially harmful viruses and bacteria to enter our bodies. Another tuk from
हाँ जी,
Gurbani is Baba Hor Khana Khushi Khwar, Jit Khada Tan Pidiya, Man Mein Chala Vikar. So, Gurbani clearly tells us how the food we eat affects our physical and mental health. So, what we eat can either prevent diseases or actually cause them. So, vibrational, chemical, nutritional, and hormonal signals are transmitted as part of the network linking our mind and body. So, optimal functioning and intercellular communication is crucial to total health and longevity. What we think and eat sends messages to our genes and alters the genes in positive or negative ways. And this new science of studying this information is called epigenetics.
wow. So does the way we think affect our health? Is our mind connected to our body and our health?
Yes. So there's a very famous quotation from Norman Vincent Peale, who was a famous person back in many
हाँ
years
जी,
ago.
yeah,
He stated, "The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life." So just this statement alone is like, very important to reflect over. This
right.
also um, is similar to the concept of Chardi Kala, which is good health starts with having that positive and empowering mindset. So staying in Chardi Kala sends positive vibrations and signals to our genes, which in turn helps keep our bodies healthy, along with the good nutrition and exercise and sleep.
Yeah.
So there was actually one study done, a famous study done by Dr. Masuro Emoto, a Japanese scientist, where he used high-speed photography to show how crystals formed in frozen water change when specific concentrated thoughts were directed towards them. So what he did is he had water exposed to loving words, which formed beautiful symmetrical crystalline structures. Then he had water exposed to negative words, which formed incomplete, asymmetrical patterns. So, that study alone is amazing to show how water has memory, our thoughts affect everything around us, and definitely our body. So,
Right.
the human body is made up of over 70% water. So, that alone tells you how much our thoughts and our words, how we speak to ourselves, how others speak to us, does affect us. So Gursikhs, many Gursikhs, they keep a glass of water next to Sangat during Kirtan or during Simran or Paat.
हाँ
Sukhmani
जी,
Sarda Paat, Akhand Paat,
हाँ जी,
because they know that that is going to affect that water. And then if you drink that water, it's going to give you the positive frequencies and vibrations. So, and just the fact that our body's composed of water, that means that the water we drink makes a big difference in our health. So, a study done by Dr. Joe Dispenza showed that if you feel gratitude for just 15 minutes a day, like 3 times a day for just 4 days,
हाँ जी,
he did a clinical study on this. Body makes 50% more immunoglobulin A, which is a natural immune, kind of a natural flu shot in your own body that helps fight infections.
yeah.
So, this proves that we can program our autonomic nervous system to make our own pharmacy of chemicals to promote growth and repair within our bodies. So, when we tend to focus on what we don't have, but are not thankful for all the blessings we do have, that is going to affect our health.
Please.
So, yeah, there are some lines from Gurbani. One is Jisda Dita Khavana, Tis Kahiya Shabas. Let us appreciate the one from whom we receive our food.
Mm.
Bhavana. So it's very clear in there. And then another verse from Gurbani is Das bastu le pacha pava, ek bast karn bikhot gavava, ek pi na de das pi her le. to mura kaho kaha kare. So that verse alone from Sukhmani Sahib clearly says that
Yeah.
if you were given 10 things and you were missing one, for the sake of that one thing, you are forfeiting your faith. So, but what if that one thing was not given? And what if the one thing was given to you, but the 10 were taken away? Then
Yeah.
what would you do? So
Mm.
that's teaching the value of appreciation of what you have, Hannah.
Yeah. Thank you for the talk, to translating it in English, because we do have a lot of Americans, English speaking people that follow us, and
Hmm.
sometimes they'll ask us, oh, what did this mean? You guys said something in Punjabi. What does this mean? So thank you for
Hmm.
translating that in English. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, so what should we eat? Are there any particular foods that are optimal for our health?
Yes, definitely. So ideally, we should eat a colorful rainbow of foods every day. And we should also rotate the foods we eat.
Yeah.
So definitely eating organic, nutrient dense foods and also foods that are good for our microbiome, which is another whole study that people are starting to investigate now because our
Yeah.
gut really affects our mind also. There's a gut brain connection.
Okay.
So a lot of dietary fiber from whole foods helps with the gut, the microbiome.
Uh-huh.
Also less animal protein, including dairy. Definitely more fresh whole foods and less processed foods. So those are just the general overview.
Yeah.
And then each meal should also contain some fiber, protein, and good fat. So when you look at your plate for your meal, it should have
And
a little bit of these three portions
okay. Okay.
optimally. And then another topic to note is the frequency of our foods.
And
So there are certain foods that have lower frequencies and then certain that have higher frequencies, which affects the frequency in our body then. So meats and also even like dairy products and baked goods like cakes, cookies, donuts. All
yeah.
these things are very low frequency.
Okay.
And then going, if you want to increase your frequency, vegetables, fruits, everything unprocessed is going to give you the higher frequency. And that in turn affects our overall health in terms of our body's frequency.
Okay. Wow. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And then another point to note is we need to really try to minimize refined cereals, starches, sugars, and then also refined vegetable oils. So, really focusing on real whole foods and replacing starch like bread, pasta, and rice, and also sugar with vegan proteins like tempeh, tofu, lentils,
Yeah.
low starch beans like lupini beans, and then having nutrient dense whole grains such as quinoa, black
Yeah.
rice, buckwheat, amaranth, and teff. So, a complete protein actually contains 9 essential amino acids. And
Yeah.
so when you combine nuts and seeds, whole grains and beans, you get that balance of all the amino acids that you need. So some good plant proteins are low in the branched chain amino acids. So
Yeah.
that's why it's important to make sure you get the complete package of proteins.
A lot of vegans and vegetarians are worried about not getting enough protein. Can you go over the foods or vegetables like the vegetarian vegans can eat to make sure we have enough protein in our diets?
Yes, there are even some famous bodybuilders who are vegan. So the concept of not getting enough protein without meat is, definitely not, true. Uh, Vegans can get all the protein they need. Density wise for protein is actually in hemp seeds.
Uh-huh.
So just 100 grams, which is 3.5 ounces, contains 30 grams of protein. Other foods with
That's
high,
a lot. That's a lot
right,
of yeah.
exactly.
And like to tell you the truth, the hemp seeds, I just kind of looked into it recently. I didn't even know what it was.
Oh,
Yeah, and especially us being vegetarians, this is very good information.
right, right.
Now I'll make sure that we have hemp seeds to give us the protein that we need.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I can share like my own experience. Before I became a military Sikh and baptized Sikh, I used to like work out a lot, lift a lot, and I always believed into oh yeah, like meat will give you that protein and all that. Didn't know better, right? So along with that, like eating meat and other stuff you shouldn't be eating. The mindset was just like everybody else, like it's it's a protein, that's why I'm eating it. But
Like it was so focused on meat. Like, we would have to do like like a steak or chicken or something. है ना? कुछ ना कुछ
Hmm.
ਏਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੀ ਸੀ, like every meal we had to have that.
But of course, as we came towards Sikhi more and more, and we learned uh, the true Sikh living. Then we kind of figured out that this is not the way to go, and of course there's other way to get the protein. But with the meat and all that, all I can tell you is, well, from my personal experience, it came with the cost. The cost was high cholesterol. The cost was some of the other issues I was having, and once I got away from all that meat product, and of course I was, by that time I was like baptized Sikh, it just made it so easy, and it cleared everything up, and I felt better, more energy and all that. So that's kind of like my experience, what I went through.
Hmm.
But yeah, so he actually he had to take when he was in Amritari, he had to take cholesterol medicine.
Hmm.
A doctor did the blood work and they prescribed him cholesterol medicine, and not really knowing much like the effects and stuff, he was taking the medicine. And then once he took Amrit and went and did the he started feeling better, and he's like, I don't think I need this, this kind of stuff anymore, because I think cholesterol is caused by meat,
Hmm.
um, the amount of meat that I was eating. And then he went and got the blood work done, and the doctor told him, hey, you can stop the medicine. There's no cholesterol. You don't have high cholesterol. So that was like a really positive thing that
E-
came out of that.
Even though I was working out a lot, like a lot of cardio and a lot of lifting and stuff, I still had that problem. And I truly believe that it was caused by what I was putting in my body, and which was mainly the meat, because what was like uh that's what pretty much I grew up on, like knowing that, like, oh yeah, meat is the protein and there's nothing else, and you have to have it in order to get big or get strong or whatever. But I figured out that that was not the case.
And then, Benji, there's a lot of fruits and vegetables that have a lot more protein than meat does. So
Right.
can you kind of go over the vegetables that have and the protein they have?
Yes. So one main source, which is easy to get, is from green peas, which are called mutter. So
Yeah,
if so that's one. And then broccoli actually has a good amount of protein, um, along with all the beans. So our dals that we eat, that's just loaded with protein. So
yeah.
if you're eating enough dal and you're eating nuts and seeds, and vegetables and enough fruits also, then you get everything covered. You get enough protein for sure.
Okay, yeah. And I heard about broccoli. Like broccoli has
Hmm.
like significant amount of protein.
Hmm.
So this whole meat stuff and all that, it's just overrated, and if you don't look into it, if you don't like get out of that box, then you kind of you stay within that box, and you're always going to be eating stuff that's not good for you, because the meat, look at the amount of injections that are the animals are getting, and all that is going into our system, and then all these diseases caused by all this different medications, or what do they call it, the the stuff they give the animals,
Oh, they give antibiotics to animals. Right.
antibiotics, yeah,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
those are not meant for our body, the amount
Correct.
of
Hmm.
antibiotics they have, right?
And
Right.
it has a lot to do with what they feed them too.
Yeah.
To
And then they captivated animals are put into like small barns, and they're not able to graze out there and get the natural grass, and all this weed that's good for them, Hana, for their system.
Right, right. And
So,
then again, coming down to the frequency, that has the lowest frequency of that we can have as far as foods because you're eating a dead flesh, and that's
mm.
a very low frequency. And that's going to, besides all the other health consequences, that's going to affect our overall health holistically with our mind too. So, there again, the mind and body is completely connected. So, one affects the other.
I truly believe that most of all, Sikhi teaches us that Sikhi is built on compassion. And
Hmm.
if it's a living thing and you have to take the life in order to, well, like taste of your mouth, and you're doing that, where is the compassion in that? And that was like a big eye opening for me once, I became Amritari Sikh because I didn't know better prior to that.
And if you think about it, like the meat, like I really never ever liked, even when I did eat meat, I never liked meat. I just, kind of try to avoid it and stuff. But if you think about it, like the meat itself, there's no taste to it. There's absolutely no taste to it. And then you can just chew on that piece of flesh, all day long. You have to add so much barbecue sauces and spices and spice it up. So why not use those, spices for like other stuff like vegetables or, other things that are healthier and um more compassionate than killing an animal.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm. Definitely. Definitely. And then we can move on to some vitamins that I would recommend for vegans and vegetarians. That's a good idea to supplement with some nutrients that vegans in particular, if you don't have any dairy at all, also need to try to supplement with. So a few of them are omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin B12, vitamin D, and then magnesium. So the omega-3 fatty acids, there are definitely vegan forms out there. There are vegan capsules that are derived from the sea algae. So those are a very good option because omega-3 fatty acids are very essential for brain health also.
Yeah, and I think I remember talking to you and
Mhm, mhm.
like I told you that sometimes I just get brain fog and can't think straight and you told me about omega-3 fast fatty acid and I've been doing the I think it's a chia seed, right?
Yes, so
I've been doing
yes,
those
exactly.
regularly now. Yeah.
Right.
Not only myself, like the family too, they're also benefiting from that.
That's great. Yeah. So even ground flax seeds, along with chia seeds, and also hemp seeds and walnuts are also
Uh-huh.
sources of omega-3 fatty acids. Walnuts are an excellent source of the omega-3 fatty acids for vegans.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
So, can you go over a little bit about sunlight? What are the benefits of sunlight? And most of the upright Punjabi people, right? They think that they don't really need a sunlight because sada color hai ho jaya, body the like skin color hai ho jaya. Well, why do we need a sunlight?
And then a lot of times you go to their homes and the homes are like so pitch dark, huh?
Yeah.
And I'm going over there and opening up all the blinds or curtains and stuff because it's like, come on, let the light in. It's daytime.
So if you can please go over that real quick and kind of explain the benefits of sunlight.
Sure, definitely.
Thank you.
So, sunlight is one of our main sources of natural vitamin D. And vitamin D is one of the most essential vitamins that unfortunately many people have the deficiency of. And that's mainly because of lack of sunlight. And we need to supplement with. But if you get enough exposure to sunlight, that also keeps your circadian rhythm in balance because then your body knows when to get up, when to go to sleep, and then you can get a more restful sleep. If you're always in darkness, your body's system cannot function optimally. You can't be getting enough rest at night either.
Yeah.
So when you expose your face and forearms to warm sunlight, and the optimal time is between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And that would be without sunscreen because then you're not going to get those benefits. If you do that for about 15 minutes, And if you have colored skin, that's 15 minutes. If you have darker colored skin, it would be at least 20 minutes to get more of that benefit.
Okay.
And then they're recommending for seniors even more, so like 30 minutes because it's harder for them to absorb the vitamin D.
Mm.
So that's what's recommended to get some vitamin D because your body produces it then from the sun. And if you can't get enough sun exposure, like during the winter, especially in northern regions, it's very important to take a supplement. The recommended vitamin D intake for average, adult is at least, like 2000 IUs, the units,
Yeah.
um, because that's essential for our immune system to function properly. Another vitamin that I wanted to mention that's very important to get enough of and supplement with, possibly actually two more. One is vitamin B12, which is actually in a lot of dairy products. So if you're vegan, you wouldn't be getting enough.
And
So it's good to supplement with that also. And then the other vitamin or mineral actually is magnesium. So many people are deficient in have a deficiency in magnesium, and magnesium is very essential for our muscles, regulating our muscles and our nervous system. So actually having magnesium supplementation can help sleep also. Mhm.
what are the foods that we can eat for to be sufficient in magnesium?
Yeah, yes. So back to hemp seeds. Hemp seeds have a very high amount of magnesium.
Okay.
Even flax seeds, Brazil nuts, chia seeds. And then within the cereal grains, buckwheat and oats have a good amount. Many legumes like chickpeas have a good amount. Peanuts also. And out of the
Um,
vegetables, spinach and cooked Swiss chard, that has a good amount too.
oh, nice. Very nice.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you for that explaining that.
You're welcome.
So, what are some other suggestions you have that can improve our health?
Yeah, so like we were talking before, it's very important to address the whole mind-body connection. So there are a lot of aspects to good health and improving our health besides just our food. So, what we're seeing and hearing and thinking and speaking is all going to affect our genes, because all these messages are going straight into our body and affecting our genes and altering our genes. So that's something very important to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Another important point is exercise is very critical for good health. They're saying now that sitting is the new smoking. So that's how bad sitting and being immobile is,
Yeah.
if you don't move your
Yeah.
body around.
Yep. Yep.
Research is actually showing that exercise is not only just good for your physical health, but it also supports emotional and mental health. And of note, I notice that when I walk in nature, I just feel so good. It just boosts my mood, just being in.
Yeah.
So that's how important being in nature, grounding with nature. It's recommended actually to walk barefoot in grass. That's very, very good.
Yeah. Yeah. I often do that. You just like don't wear socks, no nothing, just go and
Mhm.
walk around barefooted.
Yeah, it's very rejuvenating.
It is, yeah, it is.
Exactly, because it's like recharging. So when we're touching the earth's surface is almost like a battery for recharging us. It has electrons and that go through our body and give us the
Mm.
energy.
That's
Uh,
a good way to look at it.
I know, right?
Mm.
It's like recharging our battery.
Yeah.
Um, and then another important point is to make sure you get adequate sleep. And the optimal time for sleeping to get the full rest is from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So studies are now showing that people who sleep after 10 p.m. feel tired in the morning. They're not getting the sufficient amount of rest for their body and mind.
Right,
Um,
right. And
exactly.
like there's just like it's just so bad right now, like depression and this and that. And it's, the part of the reason is because, the social media and gaming, these youth, they're not thinking about it. They're not, they're not going to sleep till like 2, 3 in the morning
Mhm,
because they're just playing,
mhm.
staying up playing games and stuff.
Right, exactly.
So it's really important to, like, parents to have those phones put away and make sure the kids are getting enough sleep. And then even like sometimes, like, if kids are not doing good in school, you might want to check into like what time are they really going to sleep, right?
Exactly.
And then, have like the phones put away. Like, the parents should, take those phones and put them away, and like make sure that the kids go to school with at least, 8 to 10 hours of sleep, and so they can function properly.
Exactly. And many studies are showing that exposures to any kind of screen, the blue light, 1 to 2 hours before going to sleep actually disturbs and the sleep.
Mhm.
So everyone should be, screen free at least
Mhm.
1 hour before going to bed in order to get optimal sleep and the
Nice. Thank you.
deep sleep, which is
Deep
what is
sleep.
to really recharge.
All
Uh,
right.
Another point, which would be helpful is we should not be eating right before we go to sleep. It's recommended, like optimally, 3 hours before you go to bed, you should complete your dinner, uh,
Anji.
and then you should have an empty. Should not be eating anything for 3 hours before you go to bed, in order to digest properly. Your body should not be focusing on digesting your food when you're sleeping. You should just be resting. So
Yeah.
that's another important point to make. Another aspect of life that's very important is having a good support network, having a community of like-minded people,
Anji.
and Sikhi, that's Sangat. So having that built-in, support network is very good for mental health, you know, which
Right. Yeah.
which is directly linked to our overall health.
Yeah. Get away from negative people.
Exactly, exactly.
And,
Get
Be
away
around
from toxic people.
and
that.
nowadays it's kind of like hard to have that sympathy, because it just like with the technology and the modern life and all that, everybody's so busy with everything else. But what's important, and which is like taking care of yourself, and most importantly, it's like you said, the time of the sleeping, right? A lot of people don't realize that how much you kind of like putting your body through when you're not getting properly rested.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So, along going with that, like having a good work-life balance is also important. That's gonna, having the self-care. So, if we're overworking and overstressed with jobs and not having enough time for our family or for ourselves, then that imbalance will definitely affect our health also.
Plays a big factor, I think.
Exactly. And then along with that, another point I like to make is being a good global citizen is important. Also doing community service, doing some kind of seva.
Okay, well, yep.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So
Comes back to our teachings from our guru, and everything just
exactly,
comes back, whether it's like, the health, what we put in our body, or, what we look at, the sangat, it's like, it just all comes back to what our guru sahibs have taught us.
exactly. And something else which more people are becoming aware of is we need to take care of Mother Earth. Pavan Guru Pani Pita Mata Tart Mahat, even Gurbani says that. Mother
Right. Yep.
Mother Earth, we need to take care of Mother Earth without, and decrease the pollution, decrease the pollution going into the oceans. Everything is affecting everything else.
Yeah.
So, it's a very big ecosystem that needs to be taken care of by humans.
Yeah, or simply as like, in a household or farms, just being careful with like what are you putting in the ground, because
Exactly.
a lot of people don't realize that they're killing when you're like putting certain like so-called medications or certain things,
Pesticides and
um
Roundup and all that.
and like to grow certain things, but you're actually killing the ground. You are hurting the earth with that.
You're killing all those nice, beautiful insects that are actually purifying the ground and getting that gives us all the nutrition.
Yeah, and then there are natural ways to take care of if there's like certain issues. but what is pushed on us is not the answer.
Exactly. And so if you start thinking about it, and it makes sense that the quality of our soil will be affecting the quality of our food. So if our soil is nutrient rich, those nutrients will go into the vegetables and fruits that they're growing.
Right, that are giving the nutrition to our bodies. Yep.
Exactly.
Well, it's like prime example is Punjab, right? Um, Punjab, like the fields over there, the farms over there, they were like gold. Like you could, if you wanted to grow like anything in there, you could, and it was produced to all over the world. But what has happened is that Indian government has pushed it back in 70s to use like certain things. Oh, that will be better. That will grow better.
Chemicals to produce more crops and
And they
this and that.
pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. And now, if you look back, I mean, how sad is that? Last stats I looked at it, they said one out of every fifth person in Punjab had cancer. And
Hmm.
that has a lot to do with because Punjab, there's nothing but like everything they grow manually. But if you are using chemicals, that is the end result of that.
Yeah, they said like I think 5 years ago I heard that they say that in 20 years it'd be Punjab's going to be desert.
Yeah.
The way they're treating the soil and like what they're doing to the farmers too right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. And then the quality of water over there is another issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Water's, the main part of, our body's composed mainly of water. So if we don't get good quality water and it's polluted with, chemicals that are going to cause cancer, um, then we have a lot of issues in that aspect also.
right.
Well, thank you, Panji Updesh Kaur, for joining us today and sharing your knowledge on this important topic, which affects our daily lives. We often ask, what is the connection between diet, health, and disease? If you look at it, the connection between diet, health, and disease is what we eat. What we eat plays a key role in our health. Choosing nourishing food help us stay well. While harmful food can lead to sickness, some food promotes healing and good health, while other create imbalance and disease. Knowing which food supports our health is essential for long-term well-being. Our bodies, minds, and soul are closely linked. Our bodies help our souls grow and learn in the physical world. How we treat our bodies affect our overall health. Our bodies have a natural rhythms, including sleep, diet, and exercise. Following these rhythms is vital for good health. Our soul, mind, and body connect through Vaheguru's Hukam, divine order. When we go against this natural order, we suffer. Nourishing our soul with Gurbani Nam Simran strengthens our minds, and a strong mind guided the body to make positive changes. Keeping this balance lead to good health. If we look at glimpse into the past, which means natural living in Punjab, many of us remember growing up in the villages of Punjab where we ate fresh vegetables and home cooked meals from clean pesticide free soil. We played outside, laughed, and shared meals with family. Our parents and grandparents worked hard in the fields, eating natural foods like sharbat, shakkar, sugar canes, ghee, and fresh dairy. We stayed healthy with strong teeth and bones. Depression was rare, and our community were filled with love and joy. Generations have moved to foreign countries, and we have forgotten about the true organic life living like it was in Punjab. We look for easy and most convenient living. In result, we have become lazy. We have forgotten our ancestors' teachings. We can do same thing in foreign countries too if we have, but we have to get out of this lazy life. We have to get out of the convenient life and live true homestead life, which means that don't look for, oh, there's a stores near me, there's a schools near me, and that's a easy life. Maybe look for property outside of the cities, towns, live in the country, have your own property, grow your own, just like I said, live your true homestead life. When we talk about the shift, how modern lifestyles have impacted our health, as we entered a time of plenty, we gain access to many types of food, fruits, dairy, meats, supplements, and so-called nutritional bars. Unfortunately, this has led to more health problems, both physical and mental, which I'm pretty sure they won't put that on their labels, and they won't tell you that what kind of health problems you're gonna have, how it's gonna impact your physical and mental health. Only those who stay active and mindful about their eating choices have avoided the negative effect of processed and fast foods. Today, many children start their days with processed cereals, sugary snacks, and drink full of artificial additives. Their school lunches often includes pizza, cheeseburgers, or hot dogs. Although some schools offer salads, most kids ignore them because they never learned about healthy eating at home. Our fridges are full of processed food, leading children to believe these are proper nutrition, which, with a little bit of common sense, it's not. But that's the circle we're living in. We have to get out of that circle. If we don't, we're just harming ourselves. We're harming our next generation, our kids, maybe next to next generation. Let's dive in and look into the consequences of processed and genetically altered food. We have moved away from eating whole grains, raw milk, and pure ghee to relying on genetically modified and processed foods. Many food additives can cause health issues, yet they are common in our diets. Learning about these harmful additives help us make better choices for a healthier future. By returning to natural whole food and avoiding artificial ones, we can improve our health. True wellness comes from using real food that support life and health. As we finish this podcast segment on diet and lifestyle, we look forward to sharing more on health and wellness in future episodes. We will discuss our journey from city life to living organically in the beautiful mountains of California. My Singani, Preet Kaur, focuses on keeping our family away from modern medicine, which often has side effects. Instead, she makes herbal teas for everything from minor stomach problems to serious issues like blood pressure and immune support. Our gurus has guided us to trust natural medicine using herbs instead of harmful antibiotics. Once again, thank you, Penji Updesh Kaur, for your insight today. If you are interested in holistic health coaching, you can reach Updesh Kaur at holisticcore@gmail.com. Once again, that's a holisticcore.com. And you can follow her on Instagram at holisticcore. Um, Preet Kaur, do you have anything?
Um, no, I mean, this has been wonderful. Thank you, Benji, for giving us so much insight on the importance of how we should, take care of our mind and body. We appreciate you coming on this podcast and enlightening not only our audience, but us too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the lot of stuff you pointed out and the food and all that, it's like you really don't pay attention to it. I mean, I know I started looking into this a lot because of Preet Kaur, because she's like we're pretty much doing our own meds now. We don't really go to doctors, which doctors don't really help anyways because they want to push medications on you before even knowing the symptoms. So, which is the wrong way to do it. And I think like I said, the best way to do it is go by the way our ancestors used to do it, the way our gurus has the garden and had all the herbs and all that, and there were people getting cured at that time. And if that's the fact, that why can't we take care of ourselves same way?
Exactly. We'll go back to the roots, where we came from and, what is natural for our body. Um, Not all these harmful chemicals that are causing the disease, and they're just putting a band-aid on, whatever it is. It's not really taking care of the root problem.
Yeah, it's not cure. It's just leading one to another.
Exactly. Benji, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, so, adding on to your comment, unfortunately, medications are none of them, except for antibiotics, can actually cure any disease. So I saw a post about how the company Pfizer, who is one of the main pharmaceutical manufacturers, they've done, I don't know how many decades of research and making medications, and not even one of them has cured any disease. Every
Yeah.
single medication is a band-aid.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like if you see like a lot of studies and stuff, cancer wise, or the biggest thing is like diabetes. And Punjabi lokan ਚ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ sugar ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਨਾ. So like if you look at the diabetes and you look at the studies they have done, and like the medication, of course, just like what he said, it's just like a little bandage they put on. There's no cure. They don't provide you a cure. But then you look at their diet on their site, what they recommend, their diet causes diabetes. Those are the same foods causes you to have high blood
Then
sugar.
there's certain medicines like they give you, and then they'll be like, "Oh, stay away from." I think it's grapefruit, and grapefruit's probably one of the most. It's probably really beneficial to eat. It's very
Exactly.
bitter. I know it's very sour, bitter, but it's so beneficial. But then they're saying don't eat that if you're eating certain medication. So that kind of really, like, if you really start thinking about it, that kind of tells you that, hey, this is not about them making us healthy. This is just about them keeping us in the circle of being sick, so they can push their medications on us. And it's so nice to have you, Benji, being from the pharmaceutical background, and you really connected with what's natural. Stay away from stuff that's so harmful for your body, right? And try to do everything naturally. If we really watched our diet, many of these diseases that have come up today, they would not be there if you really watch your diet.
Exactly. And then once somebody does start a medicine for one of these chronic illnesses, they have to take it for the rest of their life. There's no end to it.
Right, yeah.
Particularly for blood pressure and diabetes.
Right. And then even Benji, the disease that they diagnosed you with, right?
Mhm.
You would have to take the medication for the rest of your life, but you didn't want to take that approach. You were just like, no, I'm not taking medicine. So, even being from a medical background, you took the alternative route.
Exactly. Because how we take care of our bodies, both mentally and physically, what we eat can either, improve our health or, make it worse. So it's really all up to us in our hands, and we should be empowered to take control of our own health instead of depending on doctors and medicines.
Correct.
Yeah, unfortunately, we live in this world and time where there's two biggest part in your life is taxes and the whole medical system, and that the medicines are a big part of that. It's not too much, oh, like they want to cure somebody or they want to help somebody. It's not that. It's just like it's trying to push the medications, even somebody really don't uh require the medication, but they're going to try to push it because they think that that will be the better solution. I can give you a good example. Us is like few years back, we both got sick, me and Preet Kaur. We had like common cold, they and that was during like COVID, and we called doctor and they would not see us in the office, and they kept telling us to take this medication and take this medication. We even had that what they were giving us medication for, which later they found out after testing, and they were pushing the medication on us for like some flu which we did not have, and then they're like, okay, stop that, then let's
Like, stop this medicine, take the another one, right?
take another one.
Another one. And then that's where I was kind of like, I put a stop to it and I said, hell no. You know what? The fact that I went and bought this medicine and we're taking it, and, it's probably so harmful for our body anyways, right? Because it wasn't doing anything. It was just making us more sick. So I told them, I go, let's listen. We're not going to take any medicine at all. We're going to take care of this natural way. So I have this immune boosting tea that we kind of use like anytime there's like onset of like, if we're exposed to like someone that has a cold or something, or like just about anything. I'll make this tea and then we'll drink that for a couple of days, and then we're better. We don't have to go to a pharmacy and get any other medicine. The tea itself helps us.
I can tell you that before it was few years back, it was norm that every year I would get sick, get cold, on cold, all that, and it would not go away for like weeks and weeks and months. And you always had that dry cough, no matter what. But since we start doing all natural, all herbs, and thanks to Preet Kaur's teas and everything she does, I haven't had that in few years now, and it's like there's no better example than that. Just like a natural way is the best way to go.
Yep.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know what? The standard norm is that, okay, when you go to the doctor, you have to get a medicine. It's just an expectation that
Yep.
everyone, and that's just the standard protocol. Doctors don't let you go without a medicine normally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And most people want the medicine too. They're like, anything happens, oh, let's take a dwai. Oh,
Yeah.
kuch ho gaya, okay, dwai la lo, doctor to dwai la lo.
Dwai la lo.
Like it's
But they
gonna
don't
solve your
realize.
problem.
I know. And then you look at the medicine and then you look at like you can take one bottle of any medicine and then look and search it up. It's on Google and then look at the side effects, right? So this one medicine to cure something that really doesn't cure, like we know, it's
Mhm.
going to give us 10 to 12 other side effects. Is it worth taking it? No,
And
it's not.
then when you get those side effects, the doctor can add another medicine to take care of those side effects.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that is actually very common and normal
Yeah.
as a pharmacist, I know and I've seen how
Yeah.
people are on so many medicines. I see chart notes of the list of medications, and I'm just like appalled. People are
Yeah.
taking 10 different medications, out of which half of them are to treat the side effect symptoms of some other one.
Wow.
I
Wow.
mean, we have
Mhm.
witnessed, personally, we have witnessed people taking like handful of medications, like at least 10 to 15 pills a day. And according to them, that if they didn't have those pills, they wouldn't be able to do
It's
anything
all
in
right.
their life. It just like makes you think like, they've been programmed pretty
Uh,
good in this.
Yeah.
and it's almost like they you become addicted to the medicine, like your body cannot function on its own without the medicine then, because the
Yeah.
medicine's putting that band-aid on the problem, but just
Uh-huh.
a band-aid, not solving the root problem. So once you take the band-aid off, everything comes back,
Everything comes back. Yeah.
and
Everything
plus
comes back.
more in many
Yeah.
situations, because you were suppressing it and that then has to come all out with many,
Yeah.
many diseases. uh,
Yeah.
and in particular, I want to mention is with anyone who has depression, once they do start antidepressant, they cannot just stop it. It's very dangerous because
Yeah.
you're changing the chemistry of your brain. You're
Yeah.
different the chemicals in the brain. So if anyone does suddenly stop it, it can have like very like dangerous consequences.
Yeah. And
Um,
when they
Mhm.
take it too, well, like I've kind of looked into it. Many of these antidepressants, the side effect is suicide.
Exactly.
And so it's like, come on, people, are you guys not looking at, the side effects?
Exactly.
Why would you take a medicine that has a side effect of suicide? You're already,
Mhm.
suffering. It's a
Exactly.
very, very sad world we live in, and how
Hmm.
this, government, they profit from people being sick. But I'm really happy to see RFK, hopefully he gets in, and he's going to be making a lot of changes, a lot of positive changes that we all need.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of, a lot of people are waking up to the reality of, what are the pharmaceutical companies pushing for? Are they pushing for people's health? I
Mm-hmm.
don't think so. I think that's a definite no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, people don't realize this, but if you use a common sense, it's very simple. The people who make a profit off the medications, how are they gonna give you a cure where you don't take medication? They're always gonna push medication on you because they have to make that profit. So that's what individual choice to look at it, do their study, and see like where they stand, and either should they take the medication or not, because somebody's making profit out of that. Um, we're not saying that don't take medication. Like,
Like, we're not telling anybody cold blood, just stop taking medicine, but really think about it.
I think natural way is the best way to go. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying.
exactly. And if anybody is on a medication chronically for diabetes or blood pressure or any other chronic illness, I just want to make sure everyone understands that it's not okay to just suddenly stop any medicine. Like, as I
Yeah.
mentioned before, the body
Yeah.
has become accustomed to that medicine and it can only function with the medicine. So once you stop it, all the symptoms plus other um,
Yeah.
possible worsening could occur. So that could be dangerous. So whenever trying to decrease or stop a medicine, it is important to go through a healthcare provider to help you slowly wean off the medicine, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
just just talk to your doctor and let them know. And sometimes you have to go in there and you have to be, you have to show authority and you have to be like, hey, doc, I'm taking too much medicine. I want to start cutting down. So, have a plan with your doctor to just start decreasing and getting rid of the medication, and find the alternative natural ways to cure whatever you have.
Exactly.
All right, Benji, it's been wonderful. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for coming
You're
on
welcome.
here.
Mhm.
We appreciate it, and we'll do much more together.
Yes.
Um,
It was my pleasure to join your podcast. Thank you so much for inviting me.
thank you. Appreciate it. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ
All right.
Awesome.
ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ
Bye.
ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ